Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash, the modesty apostles and elders, great most on all well, and shalom to all the brothers doing the work of concerning truth. Yeah, it's kind of meditating on the scripture, because I was just considering that, like Jake, your average so-called Negro, Hispanic that's out here is, they're ignorant, they're disconnected, from their identity, and as such, all that comes with it, which you have detailed in like Romans 9, where, all the tasks that essentially come from being of that chosen stock. But it's funny because, enemies have, they basically have consistently been, keeping track of, of Israel, Jake, and of their weaknesses and means by which, they can, uh, you know, keep them, under lock and key. And it's played out. It's played out to a great extent. It's like now, one of the most legendary tools, the means by which, Jake is kept, in dumbed down, disconnected state, is that black culture that, you know, is a self-perpetuating cycle of destruction, upon the minds of Jake. And then, they're trying to climb out of it. But it's the crabs in a bucket mentality where they're all pulling each other down. So it's a thing where they need, they need to be shown, they need to examples of a different, approach, a different manner, a different way of achieving, attaining these things. So that's on Judith 5. Start from verse 15. It says, so they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esabon, and passing over Jordan, they possess all the hill country, and had fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the Champagne countries, wherewith, I just realized, verse 15. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength all them of Esabon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Jebusite, and the Shechemite, and all the Girgazites, and they dwelt in that country many days. And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the power that hateth iniquity was with them. And yeah, this is where, the current conundrum, the current state Jake is in. This is how, by and large, the majority of Jake, are kept bound by, in that destroyed state. It's because why? They've essentially been party to, to wickedness, to being in that state of confusion, and, as a punishment, that, they've had certain things drawn away from them, and punishments have been laid down. But when it's Deuteronomy 28, basically, when we're conducting ourselves correctly, when we're conducting ourselves right, then we receive the blessings. But then what? You go off, and then what? Punishment. So it says, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by their enemies. Yeah. So these heathen studied, analyzed, took notes and basically was like, okay, look, this is what we need to watch for. But, should these parameters be fulfilled, then these guys are going to be, all for the taking. And it comes down to what? Their relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's something that is known of by these elites. It's why Jake is, Jake waking up is something that inflicts terror upon the minds of these elites, because they're sitting there thinking like, yo, wait, what? This is something that we've kept under lock and key. We kept these guys, zapped. But then what is a matter of the spirit, man? Something is inspired by the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Calmly can't just take control and means of what, something that's going to be accomplished through the spirit, then apply carnal means to it. This is what let's see what say. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before the world. Yeah. So this is, the mind state of which the heathen is, and this is why it's like, if you're Jake, you're just out here in the world, you're thinking like, yeah, you're just going around, and stuff happens, and you just live and whatever, and you're just like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. You're unaware of how, these what do you call it? These heathen have schemed against you, and are keeping you in that, stupefied state. So Revelation 11:8, and it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt." And that's, now America's that great city, spiritually following after Sodom and Egypt. Because why? They got the monument to Sodom, and they take up the lifestyle of they got a monument to Egypt, and they take up the lifestyle of Sodom. So it says, "And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in the graves." Yeah. So they've seen Jake in that destroyed state. And it's a thing where what I read before, they knew it's like, yo, if they sin against that power and he's not with them, then it's open season. You can come through, grab these guys up, smash up their habitations, and the spirits can be with you. But if they're with their power, you can't even dream of doing a thing. So they're aware, which is why that's something that they have no desire to allow to manifest. They really don't want Jake waking up, but it's a matter of spirit, man. It says, "And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood up on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." Yeah. So as far as for after that, that mindset, that state, basically, those capabilities are able to be done by Jake. They're aware of their power, they're aware of their relationship, and they know what conduct they need to be doing to maintain that link. And they ain't sinned, then it's everything's aligning. But now obviously, we're in the time of judgment, where everything's being built up, it's being ramped up for that, mass scale destruction, man. So whilst, Jake are aware, it's now where waiting for Yahweh Shai to receive his kingdom, and then afterwards, once that's been received, we're gonna get ours as well, and then we're gonna put these heathen back in their place. Read this Psalms 83:1. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. For they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones." And it's always against what? Israel. Because as far as they're trying to bring down, they're trying to chip away at essentially the fortitude of Jake. But that's why you need to be praying, doing lessons, studying, being in the spirit, because these things are essentially a bulwark, a shield, a covering from what these men are trying to do. Because it says what go forward. Revelation 12:10 says what? "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." Yeah, accusing of our brethren. Esau's out here accusing Jake on a mass scale, saying like, "Yo, these guys are off." Because why? That's them being kept. That relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahshai, correcting that, addressing it. That is the last thing they desire. So they're out there accusing, basically trying to have Yahweh Shem Yahshai turn against his elect, which ain't gonna happen, man. And they overcame him. Wait. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Yeah. So the blood of the Lamb, the words of their testimony, being within Yahweh Shai, that's the key means by which this can be overcome. That's why you have hella Jake, where what? Their mind's been broken, man. Their mind's been crushed to where they're just gonna look for some form of, crumb of acceptance or means by which to find a place within Esau's system. What's the reality? 1 Peter 5:8, it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." Yeah. And the adversary Esau, he's looking what? For whom he may devour. He's looking for the means by which he can he's seeking the means by which, he can guarantee, he can lock it in and keep that permanent disconnect between Israel and their power. But that's all, at its tail end. Now's the time of when what? All Esau, all the dominoes he's built up. The playing cards, castle, those buildings you make out of playing cards. All that, one piece goes missing, it's a wrap. They really, a stable position, but he's trying to fortify it. It says what? "Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world." Yeah. Same thing. Everyone's being hounded by Satan. Yeah, for real. But yeah, he's heathen. They're doing the most to come against Israel, and with Israel waking up, it's a wrap. There's only so much Esau can do. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.